All right, welcome back to the channel. I am here today to show off a very, very old project that started when, let me hit the highlight first. It's a 1960s complete territorial system done on Excel. And I found out about this legendary spreadsheet from D. Boone's Ghost, who was a legendary mod maker of the Death of the Territories. And he had mentioned this, and it was exactly what I was looking for. So I reached out to him and maybe the developer, the guy who had made this, and I was lucky enough to get my hands on a copy of it. So down the road, I'll bring in the actual spreadsheet where it started. But down the road, I got in touch with this Perrysoft Creations, and the guy was really nice. He even was helping me make a few changes that I was interested in, and then he had told me he was a little unwell, and then he ghosted me. So I do not know, not sure what happened with him, but I guess it was the impetus to get me to learn Excel because I've learned a lot more and I've made some pretty good improvements to this entire system. But um, without boring you with the details, I'll just flip through some of the tabs. And this is one of the many territories that I have in the system, and this is in particular the WWWF Federation, and we're basically approximately in the 60s, and it goes through and books the matches automatically. It will set up feuds, which I can do in here. It's a very neat program. It keeps up with your title reigns and that sort of thing. So uh, anyway, like I said, I just kind of wanted to just show this. It's a project that I haven't worked on in quite a while, but have gotten back into it just to see what AI could add into the mix. And so I've done a few things. Going to pick up with just kind of showing you a wrestling card, basically. We're coming up on the Super Show card. This is the ninth month for the promotion. We are in September. I say ninth month, but we're actually just in September. It's not the ninth month. It's the third or fourth month, and that's all I've gotten done in, I don't know, 12 years, something like that. But it may take it. It can go super fast, but if you really take your time with it, you can see I've made cards and title belts and have feuds set up and track title histories, and so I take my time with it. But let me set this up. I'm going to do a podcast, an AI podcast, and just kind of set up the promotion, and then they kind of highlight the matches, and then I'll do a little bit more of that in a minute. But I really enjoyed this, so I hope you will too. And I'll be back as soon as this podcast is over.
All right, wrestling fans, ready to jump in the time machine.
Sounds fun. What year are we heading to?
This time we're going all the way back to September 1960 for a deep dive into the WWWF.
Wow, 1960. The golden age.
You got it. And get this, we've got some amazing source material to work with. Alignments, rankings, recent match results, and even a look at the upcoming Supercard.
You're kidding. It's like we've discovered a treasure trove of wrestling history.
Exactly. So our mission is to really understand the WWWF landscape, who's at the top, who's on the rise, and who's going to clash at this Supercard.
And maybe make a few predictions along the way. I'm always up for that.
Oh, you know I'll be asking you for those. Okay, let's start with the big one, the WWWF World Title Scene. Rankings tell us that Tony Parisi is the current champion, but Gorilla Monsoon is right behind him, the #1 contender.
And speaking of those two, the Supercard is going to feature a title showdown between them. It's going to be a clash of titans.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So Monsoon, we know he's a classic heel the bad guy.
Absolutely, a rule breaker through and through. And he's got Killer Kowalski by his side, another notorious figure.
Now Parisi, on the other hand, he's a face.
a true fan favorite and known for his technical approach in the ring. So we've got this classic clash of styles brewing.
Totally. But here's something interesting. We've got a recap of a recent match where Monsoon actually beat Kowalski. And get this, it says he used some surprisingly agile moves.
The less
Really?
effort, the faster and
Agile.
more powerful you will be.
That's not the image that comes to mind.
Right. He's known for his power, not his finesse.
Exactly. Makes you wonder if he's got more tricks up his sleeve than we thought. Could agility be his secret weapon against Parisi?
Man, that's a great question. If Parisi goes in expecting a brawl, Monsoon might just surprise him with, like, a flying dropkick or something.
It's possible, and that adds this layer of unpredictability to the match. It's going to be fascinating to see how it unfolds.
Totally. Okay, so we've got a potentially surprising world title match. Now, how about the United States tag team title scene? Bruno Sammartino and Vittorio Apollo are the champions, going up against the Sicilians at the supercard that's Lou Albano and Tony Altimore.
All right, so when we look at the alignments, we see a clear dynamic here. Sammartino and Apollo are both faces, known for strength and, let's say, straightforward wrestling.
The good guys playing by the rules.
Right. Well, the Sicilians, they're classic heels, managed by the equally cunning Lou Albano.
Ah, Lou Albano, notorious for bending the rules.
Exactly. They're all about using any means necessary to win.
So classic good guys versus bad guys in the tag team division.
You got it. And to give you an example of how the Sicilians operate, check out their recent win against Valiant and Rivera. They pulled off a perfectly timed blind tag, caught their opponents completely off guard.
Oh man, the blind tag, classic heel move, deception, and taking advantage of any opening.
Precisely.
Do you think that kind of strategy can work against Sammartino and Apollo, though? Those guys are powerhouses.
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Sammartino and Apollo rely on their strength and teamwork, but maybe they'll underestimate how far the Sicilians are willing to go to win.
Yeah, maybe they'll get caught off guard. I guess we'll have to wait and see. All right, let's switch gears again. Let's talk about the junior heavyweight division. The reigning champion is Baron Mikhail Shikluna, and let's just say sportsmanship isn't exactly his strong suit.
Uh-huh. You could say that. Definitely a few tricks up his sleeve.
And he's got a rival who's coming for him, Buddy Rogers.
Oh yeah, this rivalry's been brewing for a while. They really don't like each other.
No kidding. And things got heated in a recent match. Rogers ended up disqualified for using a steel chair.
Whoa. Talk about desperate measures.
Right. But I guess it shows just how badly Rogers wants that junior heavyweight title. But here's the twist. At the Supercard, Rogers is teaming up with Luke Graham, despite this huge rivalry with Shikluna.
Interesting. Now, Graham is also a heel, known for his rough style. So you've basically got two powder kegs about to explode joining forces.
Right. Two notoriously volatile guys on the same team. Do you think they can actually work together, or is this partnership doomed to fail?
It's hard to say. Rogers is all about himself, and Graham isn't known for his patience or teamwork. It's going to be a wild ride, that's for sure.
Man, Rogers and Graham on the same team.
Yeah.
Talk about unpredictable. Okay, let's move on to some individual rivalries heating up this Supercard. First off, Bobo Brazil going up against Toru Tanaka. Now, from what we see in the alignments, Brazil is a huge fan favorite.
Absolutely. Brazil's got that charisma and power, real crowd pleaser. Not for nothing they call him the world's most popular wrestler.
And Tanaka, he brings something completely different. Martial arts background, no hesitation using it.
Oh, for sure. Tanaka, he's got a reputation. Bit more ruthless, unpredictable. That's what makes this rivalry so exciting. Clash of cultures, clash of styles.
And it's not just styles, right? This feud, it's been labeled insult heritage. Pretty rare and controversial for back then.
You're telling me. It suggests there's something more going on, deeper than just a regular wrestling rivalry. Almost like their matches, they're tapping into societal tensions, cultural differences, and a whole lot of pride.
Yeah, it's not just about winning or losing. It's about respect, representing your heritage, proving a point.
It's loaded with meaning. And that makes their match at the Supercard even more, well, unpredictable.
Yeah,
Will we see respect, or will things get even more heated?
I'm on the edge of my seat already. Okay, we've got power, agility, cultural clashes. Now for a rivalry all about the rules. Gino Brito versus Arman Hussein.
Ah, yes, the play-by-the-rules feud. Total contrast of personalities. Brito, he's a true sportsman. Technical skills, never bends the rules.
Guy who wants a clean win every time.
Exactly. Then you've got Hussein. Well, let's just say he's more cunning. Bit of trickery here, bending the rules there. All about the advantage.
So classic good versus evil wrestling style. Who do you think has the edge? Can Brito, with his by-the-book style, actually overcome Hussein's tactics?
It's tough to call. Brito. He's got technique, focus. But Hussein, you never know what he'll pull. That unpredictability is a weapon in itself.
Yeah, I can just see Brito getting frustrated while Hussein tries every dirty trick. Real test of patience and sportsmanship.
Oh, absolutely. That's the compelling thing about this rivalry. Can integrity lead to victory even when your opponent isn't playing fair? It's a question for the ages.
All right, so we've covered some hot rivalries. Let's circle back to the supercard itself, try making some predictions.
Game on. All right, the main event. Parisi defending his WWF World title against Monsoon. Tough one.
Yeah.
Parisi's got the skills, but Monsoon's got size, power, and now agility. Dangerous combination.
Do you think Parisi's experience as champion gives him an edge? Or will Monsoon's desire for that title be too much?
Parisi's definitely got the experience, but Monsoon's been on a roll. That win over Kowalski, the agility, changes things. It shows he's evolving, becoming harder to predict.
So you're leaning towards Monsoon for the upset.
I wouldn't say leaning, but he's definitely got a shot. This one, it could go either way. That's what makes it so exciting.
Agreed. Okay, how about that United States tag team title match? Can Sammartino and Apollo hold off the Sicilians and their unique approach to the rules?
Sammartino and Apollo, they're a force. Power, experience, crowd on their side. But the Sicilians, they're masters of deception.
That blind tag against Valiant and Rivera, it was smooth. Think they can pull something like that against a seasoned team.
It's possible. If they catch Sammartino and Apollo off guard, exploit a weakness and miscommunication, they could definitely steal a win.
So never underestimate a team willing to bend the rules, huh?
Especially when they're as good at it as the Sicilians. They might not win cleanly, but they're always a threat.
All right, moving on to Bobo Brazil versus Toru Tanaka. This one is so intense, so personal. Do you see a clear winner, or is this just adding fuel to the fire?
This match, it's all about pride, heritage, proving something. Neither guy will back down easy. Don't be surprised if you see a controversial ending, something that keeps this rivalry going.
A disqualification, a countout, something to leave the fans wanting more.
Exactly. This feud, it's been building. I don't see it ending cleanly. Explosive, emotional, keeping those fans on the edge of their seats.
Now, Gino Brito versus Armand Hussein. Can Brito stay true to his principles and still beat a rule breaker like Hussein?
This is a test for Brito. Hussein's going to try everything to get under his skin, make him lose his cool. Brito's got to stay focused, ignore the distractions, trust his skills.
Easier said than done, right? Especially when Hussein's always pushing the boundary.
For sure. Real test of mental toughness, commitment to fair play. Can he stay true to himself and still win against someone willing to do whatever it takes? We'll see.
Talk about a wrestling morality play. And then there's the wild card, Rogers and Graham teaming up. Will their egos clash, or can they put it aside and actually work together?
I'm fascinated by this one. Two strong personalities, always in control. It could go very wrong.
Predicting a meltdown. Mid-match betrayal, maybe.
Wouldn't
Okay, I'm gonna jump back in here. A few more things that to tell you about this particular region. Buddy Rogers, and this is one of the things that the spreadsheet game, whatever you want to call it, does is once you get out of the picture, they kind of recycle you and try to heat you back up. So if you look, I'm not sure if my mouse cursor is being captured. Excuse me, a little too much coffee. If you go to the, so Buddy Rogers holds the record for the most world title defenses. Well, after he lost that title to Tony Parisi, surprisingly, he went on a bit of a losing streak, and he's been moved all the way down into the junior heavyweight division, which is basically geared, if you can get the title, it's geared to heat you up, and that's basically exactly what Baron Michael Cicluna has done. He is now one of the hottest members on the roster. He's broken the record for most consecutive defenses of a title, the junior heavyweight title. And now he's going to be, when he loses this title, he's going to be in the world title picture, which I find very interesting. Bruno fell out of this top division and got formed into a tag team, and he won the title, and they've been doing well there, and it makes a very interesting tag division. So the super card will be a blow off for these two feuds. The podcast thought this was going to be continued, but it's not. This is the blow off. Whatever happens here will end the feud, and the winner of the feud, this match has a big gets a big boost basically in their rankings. So I have. Let's see if I can show you this. I know there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to forget to show you, but um, so here I have it tracks our top. We have 24 wrestlers on the card. It tracks those. The ones in red are actually on fire. They've won, I think it's 3 or 4 matches in a row. The ones in blue have been losing nonstop. It tracks who our position on the cards are. Currently, Parisi is the only face, and we have 3 heels that are at the top of the card in the main event scene, and Cicluna is one of those. Uh, Monsoon and Killer Kowalski. So it does a lot of really interesting thing. It'll change up our rankings, and so we'll have a month-long program leading up to this super card. So I guess we are ready. I know there was a few other things. Oh yeah, so this is an area. I'm not really sure why I wanted to even try this era, but basically, you never hear people talk about 60s wrestling. There wasn't a lot of footage of it. There's probably more 50s footage of wrestling than there is 60s floating around. So this is kind of an era that I didn't know a whole lot about, and I wanted to learn more about. So I think it's Cage Match has a lot of data, so I crunched a lot of numbers to kind of come up with some of these um, card positions. Basically, your card position is your ranking, um, which is that's actually kind of genius to if somebody gets hot, they can easily get pushed. It happens in current wrestling all the time now. So anyway, so the 60s, it's a new group of wrestlers for me. I enjoy highlighting and learning about these guys. There's obviously some big names, but seeing Gorilla Monsoon as the big hated heel, that's interesting to me. Killer Kowalski, not an old man, so I'm enjoying this, and having all the other territories mixed in with this really makes for an interesting scene. And like the NWA, I have an NWA champion, and uh, that's interesting. So anyway, so let's get into this first into the super card, and I will. Um, this will be kind of quick. I'm going to go ahead and sim this out. Let me give you the full card. I'll bring this over. So the full card tonight will be our opening match: John Quinn versus Ricky Sexton. Then we'll go Cicluna versus Johnny Valiant. That is not for the title. Then we're going to go Arnold Skolin and Spiros Aaron versus Buddy Rogers and Luke Graham. You heard them mention the two of them working together should be interesting. Then we have our 2 feud blow-offs: Gino Brito versus Armand Hussein, and Bobo Brazil versus Toro Tanaka. The Brazil Tanaka feud has been really good. And then we go to the United States Tag Team match: San Martino and Apollo versus the Sicilians, Albano and Altamore. And then the main event for the WWF title: Tony Parisi, the surprising champion, takes on Gorilla Monsoon, and he surprisingly defended his belt clean versus Monsoon last month. So this may be Monsoon's last chance, but Monsoon has been on a roll. He's been winning all his matches. So let's uh let's get to that. I'm gonna mute my mic here for just a second. I will be back in about 30 seconds for our results. Okay. So this will give like a match summary, and I'm gonna have Brian Alvarez. I'm not sure if you know that name. I'm gonna have him go through the card and explain what's happened here. So again, a little more use of AI, and to me, it kind of gives all of this a little extra life. So I have not looked at the results, and I will find out as this gets read. All right, here we go. Hope this turns out well.
Match 1. John Quinn versus Ricky Sexton. Summary: John Quinn, the determined and powerful face, faced the sneaky and opportunistic heel, Ricky Sexton. Sexton attempted underhanded tactics to gain the upper hand, but Quinn's strength and clean style proved too much to handle. After a series of slams and a decisive flying knee, Quinn pinned Sexton for the win. Winner, John Quinn by pinfall. Match 2, Baron Mikkel Cicluna versus Johnny Valiant. Summary: the crafty and dominant heel, Baron Mikkel Cicluna, took on the up-and-coming face, Johnny Valiant. Cicluna controlled much of the match using his experience and underhanded methods. Despite Valiant's fiery comebacks, Cicluna sealed the win with a loaded forearm shot behind the referee's back. Winner, Baron Michael Cicluna by pinfall. Match 3, Buddy Rogers and Luke Graham versus Spiros Arian and Arnold Scaland. Summary: the hated heel duo of Buddy Rogers and Luke Graham showcased their chemistry against the heroic team of Arian and Scaland. Rogers used his cunning, while Graham brought the muscle, neutralizing Arian's technical skills. In the end, Graham hit Scaland with an illegal object, while the referee was distracted, allowing Rogers to secure the pin. Winners, Buddy Rogers and Luke Graham by pinfall. Match 4, Gino Brito versus Armand Hussein. Summary: this battle between the plucky face Gino Brito and the arrogant heel Armand Hussein delivered a story of justice prevailing. Hussein dominated early with strikes and underhanded tactics, but Brito rallied, countering a dirty move into a small package for the victory. Winner, Gino Brito by pinfall. Match 5, Bobo Brazil versus Toru Tanaka. Summary: a heated bout reflecting their ongoing feud over heritage insults. Bobo Brazil's fiery offense met Tanaka's precision strikes and nerve holds. Neither man could gain a clear advantage, leading to a chaotic double countout as they brawled outside the ring, refusing to return. Result: double countout. Match 6, United States Tag Titles. Match: Bruno Sammartino and Vittorio Apollo versus the Sicilian. Summary: the beloved champions Bruno Sammartino and Vittorio Apollo took on the crafty and scheming Sicilians. The Sicilians used every trick in the book to isolate Apollo, but Sammartino's hot tag turned the tide. After an emphatic backbreaker by Sammartino, Apollo scored the pin to retain the titles. Winners, Bruno Sammartino and Vittorio Apollo by pinfall, retaining the United States tag titles. Main event: WWWF World Title match, Tony Parisi versus Gorilla Monsoon. Summary: the charismatic champion. Tony Parisi defended his title against the monstrous Gorilla Monsoon. Monsoon dominated with raw power and size, but Parisi's speed and determination kept him in the fight. In the climax, Monsoon attempted his signature splash, but Parisi countered with a roll-up to secure a dramatic victory. Winner, Tony Parisi by pinfall, retaining the WWWF World Title. Post-Supercard analysis. This event reinforced Tony Parisi's dominance at the top, solidified Bruno Sammartino and Vittorio Apollo's reign as tag champions, and furthered ongoing rivalries like Bobo Brazil versus Toru Tanaka. Buddy Rogers and Luke Graham's win positions them as a strong contender for tag title gold, while Baron Mikkel Cicluna continues his impressive streak as a top-ranked heel.
Okay, so I thought that was interesting. I'm a little surprised we did not have a title change in either division, but it's interesting. Tony Parisi as champion and holding off Gorilla Monsoon, who was very hot coming in. So there you have it. That is Kayfabe Territories Wrestling 1960s edition. So hopefully, if this gets a few views and a few likes, I'll put up some other territories. I even have Japan and Amarillo and Florida. So anyway, hope you liked it, and thank you for watching to the end. We'll catch you next time.